That is something I find pretty annoying these days, that everybody's announcing, a franchise film. There are these two much abused terms. One is franchise film and one is pan-India. They're both bullshit terms.
I mean, the objective cannot be to set out to make hits all the time. I don't think that is the only barometer of, achieving success. Not every picture has to be a 300 crore or 400 crore project, and that's not even realistic. And to think that or believe it or hope it is not wise. So you manage your expectations, you're realistic.
Like Vanga Reddy comes, where he's treated his scenes, he's treated his characters, he's treated those moments, he's treated the screenplay in a way which completely surprises you. That scene where he's with his wife, bidding farewell to his father, going away to America. And the next cut is this heavy music and he's got all the long hair and men with guns walking out, and you're like, wait a sec, what happened?
It was written very beautifully and it was very relevant, and I hoped to contribute to the conversation around sexuality and the choices, and it was written with such depth and such sensitivity,
Empathy.
and empathy, of course, and compassion. So I put my heart and soul into giving it the respect that it deserves.
Pan India is an accident. You see, when an RRR worked, a Bahubali worked, these were not meant to.
Yeah.
They were not designed. They were just dubbed in different languages. After that, the South guys have gone and released more than 50 films, which have been dubbed across all languages, and nobody's even heard of those.
Hello everybody, I'm Rudrani and welcome to Zoom Speak Easy. My guests today, besides being extremely talented, are also super fun. They are people who have managed to remain authentic in this world and also continue doing work that they believe in. Now that is not really easy all the time. Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
You don't seem very convinced. I hope you agree with what I've just said, Sanjay ji.
Sort of.
Sort of? You don't think you're authentic?
We all try.
I think you're authentic, and I think
Nobody
you're
accused
authentic.
me of being authentic.
How you said that I like collaborating with people who kind of have that wavelength, kind of understand what you're trying to do with your 2.0 version, and I feel like I get it when you said that, because I understand why you've been collaborating with people like that, whether it was Khel Khel Me or whether it's this, because I don't think you've ever been presented or been given the kind of meat that you're getting right now. Please correct me if I'm wrong.
I'm at a different stage in my career. I'm at a different age. I come with a different experience, and nothing was consciously planned in that sense. It was a long break. I came with the mentality of a newcomer. I was fortunate to get this offer. When I came back, I went around meeting people, and Sanjay was, having worked with him before, having known him, having enjoyed my experience of Acid Factory with him, I just wanted to go and meet him and say, I'm back, if you have something in mind, I'd love to do it. And he saw me, I guess he liked what he saw, and he immediately offered me a script right there and there. So Visfort was the first project I signed. I couldn't believe it that I was given a film offer right there and there. And and what a role! It's not something I saw myself in. It was his conviction that he was. He says, "You're coming back after 12 years. What new are you going to present? Why would people want to see you? You got to do something different." And when I read the script, I had my own reservations about playing this character, and I said, "Do you think you've cast us right? Maybe Ritesh should do this and I should do that." But he said, "No, that's exactly. I want to cast you all anti-type cast you both." So for me, I took on the challenge. I was very nervous. Fortunately, I had the time. Sanjay delayed the shooting by about, I think, they were ready to roll by a few weeks. I got more time to prep. Cookie, was very clear the way he saw the film, the tone of the movie. I used an acting coach, Prabhat Ranganathan, to help me prep with the script and get the dialect, because it's a very realistic movie with very real emotions. So being authentic was very, very important. I had to look and sound. My body language had to be like a guy who's grown up, who's born in Dongri, grown up there and spent his life there. Even though his backstory is he had emigrated to another country and he came back because of his mother's health. But it was very important to be authentic in this film. and then that was the effort. So it's all come together well, and I'm very grateful to Sanjay, to Cookie, to Ritesh, to the entire team. They made me feel at home, and I could pull this off, and I'm happy with the way it's turned out. So
very
now-
interesting that you mentioned anti-typecasting, because this is exactly what Mudassar had said about casting you in Khel Khel Mein as well. And he said that, he said that, you know what, like I'm sure you got it, like with that entire chick magnet references, like throughout his life, this man has been known as this chick magnet, and women and,
Chicken magnet.
It was extremely opposite what he did there, and I feel like that's something to be really excited about, right? Like this wouldn't have happened really earlier, and to
No.
kind of think of putting you in that position and you accepting that challenge as well.
When I heard the role, I took a evening to think about it, and it was written very beautifully, and it was very relevant, and I hoped to contribute to the conversation around sexuality and the choices, and it was written with such depth and such sensitivity,
Empathy.
and empathy, of course, and compassion. So I put my heart and soul into giving it the respect that it deserves. I'm grateful to Mudassar for offering me that role, and even to Akshay for wanting me to be a part of it, and so it's not often you get a role that is entertaining but yet relevant, meaningful, and it's really resonated with people and touched their lives somewhere.
Yeah.
Whether they're heterosexual or they're gay or whatever it is. So I'm something I'm proud of.
Yeah, you should be 100%. Sanjay ji, you have been a part of this universe for a while, right? You've gone through a phase that people have said that a lot of his films are like these Western remakes and classics, but you did kind of get back the slick actions. What do you think about today, in today's context of remaking, and versus the original content that people are making?
See, the thing is, if you ask me which is my favorite film in the last 10 years, it's Fury Road, Mad Max Fury Road. Now this is George Miller at the age of 67 reimagining a film that he has done 40 years ago, and see what he did with it.
Sure.
On the other hand, just recently, and I was extremely disappointed because it was also one of my favorite films, had a lot of impact on me in my early years, and with my favorite director, which was John Woo, and he's gone and made The Killer, which was his iconic film from the 80s, and I just saw the first 10 minutes and I was like,
It was remade?
yeah, it's
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
I didn't
It's
know.
out now, yeah. So yeah, I mean, see, the thing is, it's not about remaking a film. It's about what you do with it, the world you create with it. It has to be a whole new film. It's like, for example, Reservoir Dogs. When Tarantino saw Kante, he's been so vocal about it because he said, I mean, this guy's had the luxury of adding 70 minutes to the film with their backstories and the music and all of that. So yeah, it is that. I mean, it's just, it depends. Yeah, it just depends on what you want to remake, how you want to do it.
Fair.
You know.
Would you want to ever do a sequel of Kante? Because people keep asking you that. I wonder.
No, they all died in the film, so there's no point.
No, I mean, like, you know what?
And I don't believe in those stupid
what I'm
prequels
saying?
that. And it's been 25 years. Nobody's gotten any younger. So me too.
No, but like the sequel in the sense, like most of them just take the name of it. Like,
No, that's
Bulbul
when
doesn't
you're
have the original
no,
cast. of the
that's,
story.
see, that's just when you're cashing in. Like when we did Shootout at Lokhandwala, it came out in 2007.
Yeah,
And it took us another 7 years to do Wadala.
true.
And now it's been 10 years. We haven't done the third film. Although,
Yeah.
I mean, there's a contract signed, everything is in place. Ekta's keen, I am keen. But till we are not 100% sure that yes, this film will do justice, I don't want to make a Godfather 3. It has to live
Fair.
up to the first two. Just for the heck of making a film because it's franchise. And that is something I find pretty annoying these days, that everybody's announcing a franchise film. There are these two much abused terms. One is franchise film and one is pan-India film. They're both bullshit terms. It's complete crap. And pan-India is an accident. You see, when an RRR worked, a Bahubali worked, these were not meant to.
Yeah.
They were not designed. They were just dubbed in different languages. After that, the South guys have gone and released more than 50 films, which have been dubbed across all languages, and nobody's even heard of those films. You know, so it's I mean, we are just living in a very make-believe world where we are convincing ourselves. We are believing that we are breaking new ground and everything. I don't think we're doing that. Yes, when a unique voice like Vanga Reddy comes, you know, where he's treated his scenes, he's treated his characters, he's treated those moments, he's treated the screenplay in a way which completely surprises you. You know, like that scene where he's with his wife, bidding farewell to his father, going away to America. And the next cut is this heavy music, and he's got all the long hair and men with guns walking out, and you're like, wait a sec, what happened? And then later goes on to explain. So that non-linear, see, that I consider as strides in filmmaking.
You know, both of you had your own journeys, but the film also has been. It's releasing on OTT, but I know that you've had your own share of ups and downs, if I can call it. I want you to share that, because I think today when we are sitting here to get it released, I think it'll be interesting.
I think that there were no downs. There were no downs. The only down was a delay in the release, because we had certain producing partners who had their reasons,
Sure.
because of which we finished the film and record. Cookie shot the whole film in about 30 odd days. That's the fastest my company has ever made a film with no compromise, you know, and he's made a cracker of a thriller. It was just unfortunate, but the one thing is that this film was always meant as an OTT film. It was conceived for the OTT. It was never conceived for the big screen. And that's one of the reasons we've done away with big set pieces or, you know, things like that. Most of the film has been shot on actual locations.
Yeah.
You know, so, and the director was very clear that this is a story about two people from two different worlds. There's a Uber driver from Dongri, and there's a pilot living in a fancy high-rise, and how these two worlds are going to collide for no fault of theirs.
Yeah.
None of them meant for that to happen, and consequences that are drastic.
Yeah.
So that was something very appealing. This film is an official remake of a Spanish film, Argentinian film called Rock, Paper, Scissors,
Yeah.
which had gone to the Oscars and everything. So when I saw that film, the story is very human. It's very relatable and it's very universal. So you could set it anywhere. This same story could be happening in Kathmandu. It could be happening in Bangkok. You know, it's just that. So once we got the rights, once I decided that yes, I just put a team of lovely writers, which was Hussein Dalal and his brother, and we wrote the screenplay together, and that's it. And like I say, movie making is not rocket science. It's just every film has its own destiny.
Sure.
For example, I had just cast Ritesh. I get a call out of the blue from Fardeen saying, "Buddy, you home? I'm coming to see you." I said, "Please, welcome." And he comes, and I look at him, and he's transformed. And he says, "Man, I mean, you know, I'm back." And I'm just sitting there looking at him and saying, he's perfect, because what I want him to do is something he's not done. So I pick up the script and I give it to him. I said, "Please read this. If you like it, we'll make it. We're making it." And it's as simple as that. So it's also, I always say in my business, our business, it's about being at the right place at the right time.
Yeah. It's interesting that we are talking about, you know, Fardeen having, you know, calling you and telling you that you have also been among the few people, and I'm sure Fardeen is among them as well, who've been managed to maintain those relationships that travel way back. How have you been able to do that? You know, whether it's with him, with all your actors. I remember, you know, even during
it's
your
very
fallout with
simple.
Sanjay, you were very open about the fact that it was others who had made that happen, and you actually reconciled. It was, but you still are friends with them. I want to know, how have you been able to make long-lasting friendships in an industry that they say is sometimes...
It's very simple. I mean, for him, I would say, look at whose son he is. For me, I would say, look at my mentors. You know, the filmmakers that I grew up watching, the filmmakers I've worked with, learnt from. You know, so there is a certain discipline. There is a certain I don't know what word to use for it, but it's in our DNA.
Yeah.
It's just there. You know, recently somebody asked us that, you know, are you all still thick, and the difference between then and now. I said, for us, there is no difference between then and now. So if Fardeen messaged me that, Paddy, are you free? I did not take a day to get back to him thinking, oh, do I have to meet him? Why do I have to meet him? No. We don't work that way. In that sense, we are completely old school. And we go with our gut. And that's it. And the gut has gotten us till here. It'll get us till there also.
Yeah. It's true. When people saw you, they'll be like, how will he be in Hiramandi? And then you wowed everybody. Then again, Khel Khel Mein. There is a perception here very easily, if things don't work, they write you off saying that they are over. And I think, like Akshay always keeps mentioning that, right? Even Khel Khel Mein, that, I was always written off. And even today, a movie like Khel Khel Mein does relatively well also. It'll be like, no, it's not up to Akshay's standard. You've been friends with him, you've seen your own journey. How do you look at this conversation?
Sorry, I think people just love writing obituaries. No, it's just that. I mean, somewhere their own misery gets a little bit, they feel a little better about themselves when they're writing shit about others. They're thinking, oh, they're still around. There's no such shit. There's no nothing. There is enough work for everybody as long as you are, I wouldn't even say talented, as long as you are hardworking, as long as you're ready to put in and go that extra mile, there's enough for everybody.
I mean, the basic way to last in this business is you respect the process, you respect the fact that it's a team effort, you respect your audiences, and you are passionate about what you do. It's not just about all the frills that come with being a part of this business. I mean, that is just optics, but getting people together to tell a story is not easy. We make it look easy. People just see it on the surface. They see the finished product. They don't know what kind of work that has gone on behind it. So as long as you're committed and hardworking and you want to tell good, honest stories, you respect the audiences, you don't just treat them as bums in the seats.
Yeah, that's
I mean, you last, and you're never as good as they say you are, you're never as bad as they say you are. I mean, you just commit to what you're doing, and it's one of those professions where what you do, everyone is entitled to an opinion. It's all fair game. You're going to take it in its stride. When they love your work, they'll celebrate you to the skies. When they don't like your work, you're going to have to develop some thick skin. So that's just the very nature of it. And you just keep your head down, and as Sanjay said, you just got to work hard and be smart, and be honest.
Because you said that, what do you do today? And please weigh in. When your film releases, are you able to detach completely? Fardeen, Khel Khel Mein just went away. Y'all are, like y'all said, all of y'all were friends in that film, right? What do you do? When a film does, are you sitting there discussing the openings today? Or is it like, do you move on? What do you do?
I mean, this is as much, especially with, this is as much a commercial enterprise as it is an art form. Everyone's effort is to try and find that healthy balance.
Sure.
And you're catering to an audience that's getting more and more sophisticated because of what they have on the palm of their hands today. So they're always ahead of you. On your part, as a storyteller, whether you're a producer, director, writer, or an actor, I mean, you got to just choose pictures that you believe in, pictures that are nestled in some credibility, authenticity. And of course, there are different genres. I mean, some pictures are pure entertainment, and that also works. But if you're setting out to do that, be true to that. If you're making a film which has certain relevance, there's only going to be a limited market for it. Sure. So these are things that, I mean, the objective cannot be to set out to make hits all the time. I don't think that is the only barometer of, achieving success. Not every picture has to be a 300 crore or 400 crore project, and that's not even realistic. And to think that or believe it or hope it is not wise. So you manage your expectations, you're realistic, and as long as you're making a film that's that's true, with making it with integrity, and it'll always find its audience, I believe in. Or if it doesn't, it'll at least you'll be proud to have made it.
You were working on this very interesting series on Mumbai Mafia Queen, on Baby Patanga.
Yeah.
And also, from what I remember having a conversation, you said I might have more in that zone about Mafia Queen and all of that.
Right.
I want to know what's happening there, because I'm so excited. It'll be wonderful to see a badass woman, right, taking over the drug world.
That script has been written. It's also been written, but one of the writers is a woman. Two of the writers. There's Rachna Sharma and there is Richa Lakhera, who've written it, done a lot of research and everything. Samit Kakkad is my director, who's working on it. So anytime now, yes, we will go ahead with it. It's a story waiting to be told, But what's happened with me personally in these last 6 to 8 months is that I found a story to tell in long format. It's the first show that I'm working on. It's based on true events that have happened in the city just 2 years back, and it's pretty astonishing. It's based on a book, and it's keeping me awake at nights, and so that's
you said
what's
events.
happening.
You need to tell me a little more on that.
I can't.
You can't? You said you give away too much already. It's me.
No, that's all right. But it's just suffice to say that
Interesting stuff.
I'm doing a gangster series, and the gangsters are in uniform.
We talk about, intimacy coordinators. We have so much more happening in that way. I want to understand, which is very different from how you used to have scenes back at the time. Today, when you have, there's a lot of choreography, if I can say, right? It's kind of a choreographed thing. How do you look at that? Because especially when you're stepping into a world that is now so different.
I've done a couple of intimate scenes one in Ek Khiladi Ek Hasina.
Yes, you did.
And of course, there is one in this movie also. It is awkward. It is difficult.
Sure.
But you got to establish trust, and there has to be communication, and it's the most natural thing, but which is the most natural thing people do in private, but to do that on a film set in front of course, the skeleton set.
You need a director to know what he's doing.
You need it. You need
choreograph it, right? Literally.
But I mean, one is you can choreograph it if you're wanting to create a very specific effect, or otherwise it can be as natural as you want it to be.
Yeah.
But it's tough.
It's tough.
It's awkward. And it shouldn't just be done for the sake of just titillating your audiences. If it's something that adds to the characters and in telling the story, then it's always nice. You're sharing a private moment. You're getting a peek into people's lives. Into the most intimate thing. But otherwise, if it's just done for the sake of it and it's not done with dignity and grace, then it's I wouldn't like to be a part of it.
100%. Okay, I'm going to go to my last segment, which has to be a little bit fun. With some fun, short questions. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. A rumor about yourself that makes you laugh. You can go and then Ferdinand can answer. A rumor about yourself that makes you laugh.
I've never really had a rumor about myself,
There must be.
No,
Were you all
seriously.
true? Sanjay, it was all true.
No, there's shit on Wikipedia which says that I come from this very rich South Bombay family and I went to GD Somani school, and that's as far from the truth as possible. So that kind of gets my goat sometimes, that where do these guys even get all this information from?
There is no South Bombay family here.
Yeah.
Far from it. Okay, what about you?
Most rumors don't make you laugh.
But you have some very ridiculous ones.
It did make me laugh at the time. In hindsight, I laugh about it. But there was someone really spread a serious rumor that I had died, and
that's not funny.
Yeah, no, it wasn't. So
Okay.
the first thing I called up my mum and told her you might hear something and whatever. But I'm alive and well. And,
Yeah.
I didn't go to hell. I'm in heaven. Kidding. But no, I can't think of any funny ones.
Not too fun. Okay. Ferdin, A director that you would love to collaborate with is on your list.
A director that I'd love to collaborate with who's on my list. This guy sitting next to my left, he's a
The
producer in 2 projects. Now,
Very soon.
now, you know, I want to be directed by him also. So definitely one of them.
Okay. Who, according to you, is an actor who you'd really want to direct an action film with? And you thought
And-
hasn't been explored?
Hmm?
Hasn't been explored, and you thought you'd like to do an action film with that actor?
Not because he's here, but definitely him, definitely with Ritesh, because these guys, I mean, see, they have the body language. Now, there's something I always, and I'm open about this. When you put a gun in Sanjay Dutt's hand, he doesn't have to do anything. You put a gun in Sunny Deol's hand, he squirms. You know, it's, or even Anil Kapoor for that matter, they need to. These guys are natural. You put a gun in his hand, he doesn't have to do anything. You know that he knows what to do with it. So these are my actors. Like say John or even Amy for that matter. You know, these guys are natural to my filmmaking process.
Part of my growing up years was cleaning my father's guns.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's something we used to do once a year.
That.
So we used to take all his guns out. He had about 7 weapons.
Uh-huh.
And I used to sit and clean it with him. So
Who, according to you, is an actor who you think hasn't really been explored to his potential, and you want to see so much more? I think he's the right person to ask this question.
I don't really think much about that. Yeah, I don't think about actors, very frankly.
I love
No,
that.
yeah, I don't.
I think about the
just-
script.
yeah, I'm very selfish that way. I
No, but
go
you know,
with
when you
my-
see somebody and you're like, you know
with
what,
my-
like hasn't been explored, needs more opportunities, like that.
You know, something very funny happened recently. I had gone to Dehradun and it was for some literature festival and I had to give the opening, it was crime literature, that's why it was called. So the opening speech and all that. And we were in the lift, okay, and going up, and just last minute, this guy entered the lift and turned, his back was to me.
Yeah.
And I see him in the reflection in the mirror. And I don't know if this is a compliment, I meant it as a compliment. And I just patted his shoulder. And I said, "You're such a good looking guy." I said, "How do you bloody present you in your movies?" And he looked at me. "Yes, sir, really, no, sir, I'm good looking." I said, "Yeah, you're really good looking." I said, "But I mean, they don't do justice."
Who this person is?
Huh? Avinash Tiwari.
Ah.
You know, because that's the first time I saw him. I'd seen 2 or 3 of his shows. You know, and they've actually, and that's one thing that does not
so
work with me.
talented.
Is, you know, when you take good looking people and then you want to, I mean, why? Yeah? You know, or my heroes have to be heroes. I'm too old fashioned. So I loved Gangs of Wasseypur Part 1. I couldn't sit through Part 2. Because here's a hero who's completely doped out all the time, and you know, there was nothing heroic in that for me. So like I said even earlier, that I mean, for me, a hero is somebody who walks into a coffee shop, walks into a room, you look up, you sit up. He has to have that personality, because that's also then half my job done.
Your favorite Sanjay Gupta film and your okay Sanjay Gupta film. Your favorite Fardeen Khan film and your okay Fardeen Khan film.
well, Kante, Atish, I mean, all
Top
favorites.
top
Yeah,
ones.
yeah.
Okay.
Even Shootout.
Shootout?
And,
Yeah,
no,
of course.
but I think all of his films, tried to push the envelope to whatever extent they could, whether it was technically, whether it was in storytelling, whether it was in presentation.
And action.
And action, of course, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, that's so. I mean, there was always something to take back from his movies, so there was no okay films in that sense. But
Yeah.
For me, I guess it's my own film, because we had a terrible release, nobody watched it. It was released a week before Diwali, when everybody's busy cleaning their homes and arranging their birthday parties. Was Acid Factory. That film deserved a lot more. My director Supan Verma, the entire team, all of them, the action director Tino, everybody had worked so bloody hard on it, and it was a cracker of a film, and it's not even there on any OTT platform. It just kind of, I don't know what the corporate house did to it.
I have a DVD of it.
Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they just kind of, that film I feel deserved a lot more. And I still remember, because I had styled all of them and I had made these individual posters. And I actually carried a poster like this, which was a solo Fardeen poster in a black suit with a red shirt, if I remember, and just a gun, just standing like really cool. And I took it all the way to Bangalore to show it to Khan Saab. Because by then Khan Saab's health had started deteriorating. He was not traveling much. But I just took it there to show him. I said, Khan Saab, this is Fardeen in my film. And, you know, he didn't have to say anything. He had nothing to say. I could just feel that proud, that he was so proud, and he was like, you know, in a sense, no, I think he even told me. He's saying, finally somebody is doing justice.
Yeah, because he has the natural swag, which I think like,
Yeah.
yeah, that's true. Okay, the other one, which you think is like the best.
You know what I really enjoyed was Pyar Tune Kya.
You know what? So did I. High five on that. I love that film. 100%.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
He
How
was
can
just
you
having
not?
such a great time.
Of course.
You know, so that with the music.
Yeah, being scared a little bit
Yeah,
also,
yeah.
along with the hard time. He did get a really hard time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah,
And
that's
then
an
there was
excellent
also
choice.
Bhoot.
Yeah, he was
You
fab
know,
in
so
Bhoot.
those were, I mean, that's the
I think
Ramu.
we
Yeah.
should get back in horror. We've actually visited. Bhoot was,
All you
We need to
filmmakers,
get back
writers.
Ramu.
yeah.
Yeah.
That you
then
can.
everything will come once
Yeah,
we get him.
the OG Raman.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. All the best for Visport. There are two
Thank
great
you.
collaborators coming together to create Visport. I do
Thank
that
you.
once.
Thank you.
That's the only wordplay, I promise. Thank you once again. It's always lovely chatting
Thank
with
you.
you guys.
Pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.